Good morning, students. Today we will continue the lesson Natural Resources in Class 9 Biology. And today I will tell you about the biogeochemical cycles, and the different biogeochemical cycles which you have to study are oxygen cycle, water cycle, that is hydrological cycle, oxygen cycle and carbon cycle. So first today's class we will discuss about the hydrological cycle as well as the nitrogen cycle. So before explaining the hydrological cycle as well as nitrogen cycle, let me explain you what is biogeochemical cycle. Biogeochemical cycle means the movement of nutrient elements through the living and non-living components of the biosphere. So you all know about the biotic components as well as abiotic components. Biotic components include plants and animals, and abiotic components include water, air, soil and all. So when both the biotic and abiotic components, they are interdependent on each other, and when in the ecosystem these nutrients flow through the biotic component, from the biotic component to the abiotic component, or the abiotic component to the biotic component. So these movement of elements, nutrients, they go on in the biosphere, and these only they make the different cycles, and that is the different types of cycles that we have to study today. So the first thing is we have to study is about the water cycle or the hydrological cycle. You might have studied about the water cycle in the lower classes. So water cycle is just the cycle in which how the water is formed and how the water comes in on the earth in the form of the rain. So we all know that in the water or the hydrological cycle, the different processes which are involved, they are evaporation, transpiration, respiration and precipitation. So here we will discuss one by one what are all these and how the rain is formed. So first of all, you all know that in the different water bodies we have, and the different water bodies, they are rain or the seas, oceans, lakes, ponds and so on, and rain is the main source of water. And these are the water bodies. From the water bodies, what happens? The water evaporates in the form of water vapor. So when the water evaporates and in the form of water vapor, they go in the atmosphere. And what happens when most of the water they gets evaporated during the summer season, then they evaporate, and due to evaporation they form clouds. The clouds become bigger and bigger, and when they become heavy, the second process which takes place is condensation. These clouds, they condense, means they cool down and they fall on the earth in the form of the rain. So these two main processes which happens in the water cycle mainly, that is the evaporation and the condensation. Evaporation means when the liquid converts into vapor, and second one is that condensation means when the water vapor cools down, they come on the earth in the form of the water. So conversion of water vapor into water is called condensation, and conversion of water into water vapor is called evaporation. So here we can see that sometimes what happens in the hilly areas when the temperature is low, these water they do not fall in the form of rain, but instead they means precipitate. Precipitation means they either fall in the form of the hail, snow or flakes and all, because of the low temperature. They cannot condense properly, or they cannot convert into liquid, and they fall on the earth in the form of the hail or snow or flakes like this. So this happens in the hilly areas. Now, how the transpiration helps in the formation of the rain or in the water cycle or hydrological cycle? So transpiration means the loss of water in the form of water vapor from the aerial parts of the plant. So when excess water they loss in the form of water vapor, and they also go in the atmosphere. So this process is called transpiration. And when the excess water from the plant they goes in the atmosphere, they also form clouds, and when these clouds again condense together and they fall on the earth in the form of the rain. So this whole process is called transpiration. And the same way respiration also, respiration means When oxygen is taken, the food is oxidized and converted into water vapor, carbon dioxide, and so water vapor, which is converting or which is a byproduct of the respiration, they also go in the atmosphere and they form clouds. And when these clouds slowly and slowly, when they become heavy together and they condense and they fall on the earth in the form of rain. So this respiration also helps in the hydrological cycle. So these all four processes which I have told you just now, they are involved in the hydrological cycle, and that is the evaporation, means conversion of water into water vapor on heating. And second is transpiration, means the loss of water from the aerial parts of the plant in the form of water vapor. They also help in hydrological cycle. And respiration means the oxidation of food in the presence of oxygen to give carbon dioxide or water vapor, and they go in the atmosphere. That is also the part of the hydrological cycle. And the last is precipitation. When the temperature is low, this water cannot condense properly and they fall on the earth in the form of the snow and hails. So these all four processes, they are involved in the hydrological cycle. In this way the rain is formed, and these rain, when they fall on the earth, again they go to different water bodies like lakes, ocean. Most of the water goes in the oceans, some water goes in the lakes, then rivers, wells, and most of the water also they go underground through the seepage, and they form the water table inside the earth. And whenever there is a need of the water, we take out the bore wells and we take out through the pipes the water from inside the earth. So this is all about the water or hydrological cycle. Next we come to the nitrogen cycle. We all know that in the atmosphere 78% of the atmosphere consists of the nitrogen. And these nitrogen are present mostly in the elemental form in the atmosphere. So in nitrogen cycle, we all know that most of the plant, they consist of the proteins and the amino acid. So from where these proteins and amino acids can come and how this nitrogen get fixed from the atmosphere into the form of amino acids and proteins, that will discuss in the nitrogen cycle. So in the nitrogen cycle, what happens, the nitrogen which are present in the atmosphere, they are fixed in the green plants in the form of amino acids and proteins. And this process of fixing of nitrogen from the atmosphere in the form of proteins and amino acid, that is called nitrogen fixation. Now after that, what happens, these green plants, they are taken by the animals, they are eaten by the animals. So this nitrogen in the in any form or in the form of protein and amino acid, they transfer to the animals. And these green plants also, which contain the nitrogen, what happens, they convert into ammonia, and this whole process is called ammonification. So this ammonia, when again convert into nitrites, and these nitrites convert into nitrates, and these nitrates again by the process of denitrification, they go into the atmosphere in the elemental nitrogen. So these two processes we can see here. One is the nitrogen fixation and second one is the ammonification. Now here another thing comes, actually how this process takes place. So there are various steps or various processes through which the nitrogen gets fixed in the form of proteins or amino acids. So first of all, the industrial fixation. Industrial fixation, we all know that in industry the different types of fertilizers and the ureas are made, and these fertilizers and the urea, they are utilized in the crops for the growth of the crops, and these fix the nitrogen, elemental nitrogen, into either in the form of urea, ammonium phosphate, or any kind of fertilizers. Now second is the lightning. What happens during lightning in the rainy season, this elemental nitrogen, they get combined with the oxygen, and when they can combine with the oxygen, they form nitrogen oxide. So during lightning also this nitrogen gets fixed with the oxygen and they form nitrogen oxide, and when these nitrogen oxide get combined with the water vapor which are present in the atmosphere, so they form the nitric acid, that is HNO3. And these nitric acid, when they fall on the soil, so these nitrogen which are present in the nitric acid, they go in the soil, and when the crops are grown in the soil, the crops or the plants get the nitrogen from this nitric acid which are present in the soil. And again these plants which are eaten by the animals, they enter into the animal body, the protoplasm of the animal body, and when animals die, what happens? These again nitrogen get denitrification takes place, or they convert into, or they break down into elemental nitrogen. This process is called denitrification, and again this nitrogen get mixed with the soil. Another thing is the nitrogen fixing bacteria. There are some nitrogen fixing bacteria like rhizobium. Rhizobium is a nitrogen fixing bacteria which are present in the root nodules of the leguminous plant. In the leguminous plant means like pea, gram, and these are all leguminous plant which contain proteins. And what happens? This rhizobium, they are fixed in the, or they are present in the root nodules of the leguminous plants. And what happens? This rhizobium helps to convert the free nitrogen into nitrates and nitrites. And this process is also called nitrification or nitrogen fixation. So when they fix the nitrites and nitrates, again the nitrites and nitrates, they convert into amino acids and the proteins. And when after the conversion of proteins and amino acids, they are found in the plants or the crops, and again when it is eaten by the animals, this nitrogen entered into the body of the animals, and when animals die, they again come out in the soil when the animals die due to the decomposition process. And this whole cycle goes on and on. Means this never stops. This whole, either maybe a water cycle or the nitrogen cycle or oxygen cycle or carbon cycle. So this process goes on and on in the atmosphere, and this process of fixation of nitrogen and converting nitrogen into nitrites and nitrates, and then process of ammonification takes place. After ammonification, the denitrification takes place. So this process of nitrogen fixation, ammonification, denitrification, this whole cycle comes under the nitrogen cycle. And in the tomorrow's class, we will study about another cycle, that is the oxygen cycle and the carbon cycle. Thank you.